Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to unpack the future of the phone that's right in your pocket. Take a look at some hardware that's pushing like 1,000 watts and break down a digital mistake that was worth over $4 billion. So yeah, let's get right into it. So we're going to kick things off exploring what's next for the device you probably use more than any other. Then we'll get into some hardware that's being pushed to its absolute limits. And we'll wrap it all up with a wild story about a $4 billion digital error. You know, the war for smartphone dominance is as fierce as it's ever been, but the battlefield, it's shifting. It's not just about who has the absolute best camera sensor anymore, or the fastest chip. The real fight, the one that matters now, is all happening in the software. What's really fascinating here is just how tight this race is at the top. You've got Apple and Samsung in a dead heat, both sitting at 19% market share. But the real story is the growth. While those two titans are battling it out, you have Honor surging with a really impressive 11% growth. It just proves that their strategy of expanding into new markets is a huge success. Speaking of Samsung, they have officially set the date for their next Galaxy Unpacked event. So, the Galaxy S26 series is going to be unveiled on February 25th. But based on all the leaks we're seeing, we should probably expect a year of careful refinement, not some massive groundbreaking revolution. And here's a key detail for you. Samsung is going back to its old playbook of splitting the processors. The top-of-the-line S26 Ultra is set to get that new Snapdragon powerhouse, while the standard S26 and S26 Plus are going to run on Samsung's own in-house Exynos 2600 chip. But, and this is the interesting part, this time, the rumor is that the Exynos chip has some seriously powerful integrative graphics, which could finally close that performance gap we've seen in past years. So the big takeaway here is this. The real evolution is all happening under the hood. You know, as hardware innovation starts to slow down a little bit, companies are turning to things like AI, smarter camera software, and refined user interfaces like One UI 9 to make their phones stand out. Oh, and you might want to brace your wallet a bit. The Ultra could hit the $1,400 mark. Okay, now let's shift gears completely from all that smart software to just raw, untamed hardware power. Seriously, the performance numbers we're starting to see for high-end PCs are just getting staggering. 1,000 watts. I mean, this is the absolutely ludicrous power limit that was unlocked by a leaked VBIOS that's kind of like the basic operating system for a graphics card for MSI's beast of a GPU, the Lightning Z. Look, this is not for your average gamer, right? This is for extreme overclockers who are trying to push hardware to its absolute breaking point. And not to be outdone, rumors are swirling that Intel's next-gen Core Ultra 400 series desktop processors could draw up to 700 watts of power when they're completely uncapped. To put that in perspective for you, that's more power than an entire high-end PC used just a few years ago. The power demands are just entering a whole new territory. And this number? Yeah. That is the eye-watering price tag for the top-of-the-line Aya Neo Next 2. It's a handheld gaming PC, but it is packing a desktop-class processor and a battery so huge, 116 watt-hours, that you'll literally need to get special permission from the airline just to bring it on a plane. It's insane! So this brings us to the core concept behind all these crazy numbers, the power limit. Think of it like a safety rail that the manufacturer puts in place. What we're seeing now is this trend of companies giving extreme users the tools to just remove those rails entirely, so they can chase every last drop of performance. Consequences be damned. But hey, tech progress isn't just about melting your power supply, right? Some of the most exciting innovations are the ones happening in the gear we use every single day, with some truly clever ideas making their debut. Take the humble computer mouse. On one hand, you have Logitech, and they're basically reinventing the click itself. Their new Pro X2 SuperStrike uses these haptic buttons with no physical switch, which means there is zero travel time for the click, and that can actually shave milliseconds off your reaction time. Then, on the other hand, you have Razer, and they're looking backwards, re-releasing their iconic 1999 Boomslang design, but packing it with all the latest modern tech. The earbud space is also getting really creative. So while Sony just dropped its new Mark 6 earbuds with even better noise canceling, LG has a truly brilliant feature in its new Xbone buds. The case not only sanitizes the earbuds with UV light, but you can actually plug the case itself into an audio source, like an airplane's headphone jack, and it becomes a wireless transmitter, beaming the audio directly to your buds. So simple, but so smart. And speaking of smart, Tesla is reportedly bringing a really powerful automation system to its cars. You can think of it like if this, then that, but for your vehicle. You'll be able to create these custom rules, like if my speed goes above 70, play this playlist. Or if the outside temperature drops below 40, go ahead and turn on the heated seats. It's a level of software customization we just don't see from other car makers.
Okay, now let's turn our attention to a technology that could completely change the displays on our phones and our TVs and our monitors for years to come. And yeah, once again, it's coming from Samsung.
They've developed something called Penta QD OLED. And just like the name sounds, it uses 5 layers of OLED pixels stacked right on top of each other. So instead of one layer doing all the heavy lifting to create the light and the color, the workload is distributed across all 5. The best way to think about it is like a team of 5 people lifting a heavy box instead of just one person.
So why do that? Well, by sharing that load, just like that team lifting the box, each individual layer is put under far less stress. That means it runs cooler, it uses less power, and the risk of that dreaded screen burn-in becomes almost non-existent. This could lead to displays that are not only way more efficient, but also last dramatically longer.
And for our final story, we have a wild cautionary tale from the world of crypto. It's really a lesson on the unique volatility and risks that come with a financial system that moves at the speed of light. So it all started when a cryptocurrency exchange based in South Korea accidentally distributed 620,000 Bitcoin to its users. At the time of that mistake, that much Bitcoin was worth a staggering 4.4 billion US dollars. Yes, billion with a B. Apparently, a system glitch caused the exchange to send out all these funds as gifts to over 6,000 different users. I mean, can you even imagine waking up and just seeing that your account balance had suddenly jumped by a few $1,000,000? The aftermath was just a scramble. The exchange realized its massive error about 2 hours later and moved to fix it. Because they control the platform, they were able to reverse most of the transactions and claw back over 92% of the funds. But in that short window, some users had already sold off their windfall, which just highlights the incredible speed and the monumental stakes of digital finance.
It's an absolutely wild scenario, and it leaves all of us with a pretty fascinating question to ponder. Thanks for joining this explainer. We'll see you on the next one.